an app that charges you practically no money and lets you text and call anyone you want to anywhere in the world. Sounds too good to be true, right? But that's exactly what WhatsApp does. With practically no ads and no subscription fees, WhatsApp is a social media app that's one of its kind. But how does it all work? And how does WhatsApp really make money? Let's find out. To start things off, let's go back in time and talk about how WhatsApp actually came into existence. With 2 billion monthly active users, WhatsApp is currently one of the most popular messaging apps in the world. However, things weren't always like this. In fact, the idea of WhatsApp was rejected more times than you can imagine, to the point where the founders, Brian Acton and Jan Koum, almost gave up on their idea altogether. The two worked together at Yahoo for 9 years, and then decided to quit their jobs in search of something better. At first, they decided to travel the world together, but once their savings started to sink, both of them went and applied to Facebook. However, both Brian and Jan were turned down by Facebook, and while it was unfortunate, it ultimately led them to develop WhatsApp. So how did WhatsApp come into existence? The story behind WhatsApp started in 2009, when Jan Koum bought an iPhone and recognized the potential of the App Store. The initial idea of WhatsApp was to have a social media platform that would let users display a status in front of their name, so that their contacts would know whether they're busy or available to talk. After brainstorming with Brian, both worked on it to create the iOS version and set up WhatsApp Inc. in California. However, in the beginning, the app wasn't as great as Jan had imagined. It crashed every few minutes, and with other issues such as battery drainage, Brian and Jan just didn't know what to do, or if it was even worth the effort. However, the two decided to stick to it for a few more weeks, and then they were saved by Apple. WhatsApp started becoming popular with Apple's launch of its push notifications feature. So whenever a user would change their status, their friends would receive a notification for it. And as strange as it seems, people seemed to love it. And soon after that, Koum decided to upgrade the app with a messaging feature. And that was all WhatsApp needed to take off. At that point, the only free messaging software that was available was the BlackBerry Messenger. And because that was limited to only BlackBerry users, WhatsApp came in and filled a huge gap in the market. Now, because both the founders of the app had connections in Yahoo, they were able to convince 5 employees of the company to give them $250,000 in seed funding and use the money to develop Android and BlackBerry versions of the app and launch them to a wider range of audiences. The reason why WhatsApp was such a hit across every platform was the fact that it wasn't monetized at all. While Acton and Koum could have easily put a price on their product, they decided to wait it out and let it be accessible to everyone. As a result, WhatsApp was one of the top 20 apps on the App Store by 2011, gaining users every single day. Between 2011 and 2013, the company received $60 million in another round of funding. By February 2013, WhatsApp had around 50 staff members and approximately 200 million active users. At this point, Koum and Acton decided to experiment with monetization and developed a subscription model where the first year of the app would be free, and after that, users would have to pay $1 every year, which was still affordable compared to other apps with the same kind of model. Even with this subscription model, WhatsApp had 700 million active monthly users, generating around $20 million in revenue. After that came a big shift. WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook in 2014 for $19 billion, making this one of the most successful tech acquisitions of all time. Acton and Koum believed that things were now going to sail smoothly. However, that did not happen for long, and things started going south. Why? Well, because according to their original plan, the two founders of WhatsApp never wanted the company to become advertisement-based. But of course, Facebook practically runs on this model and wanted to do the same for WhatsApp, which was legally now their platform. This created tensions between Acton and Koum and Facebook. Ultimately, the two original founders of the app ended up quitting, and Facebook went ahead with their plans for the messaging app, missing out on all the profits the app generated later on. But what exactly were these plans? Well, what Facebook wanted to do was link people's WhatsApp numbers with their Facebook accounts and use their data to create targeted ads for them. which was something that WhatsApp's original founders simply could not agree on. Breaking the platform's encryption was the only way for Facebook to be able to monetize the platform, and that's exactly what they did, completely going against Acton and Coombs' values. The subscription model was finally let go of in 2016 when WhatsApp was made free for everyone all over the world. But that meant that the app had to struggle a lot in terms of monetization, as Facebook desperately tried to find a model of generating revenue that worked. At the same time, Brian Acton wasn't going down without a fight. He went ahead and started a social media campaign called #DeleteFacebook, and even spent $50 million to launch a brand new messaging app called Signal to rival WhatsApp. However, Signal prioritized security ahead of monetization, mirroring the vision he had for WhatsApp. So the platform failed to generate meaningful revenue, as well as the intentions behind it were. In the beginning, Facebook's business model was to gather data, sharing it with Facebook and its affiliate businesses to sell us things. However, Facebook soon realized that their typical advertisement model was not going to work for WhatsApp because receiving pop-ups in the middle of conversations was not going to make for a good user journey. But that meant that they had the chance to diversify their revenue generation with the app. So after a lot of deliberation, Facebook decided to launch a different version of WhatsApp, specifically targeted towards businesses. This helped big and small businesses maintain a direct communication channel with their customers. And while the platform was free to use, businesses were charged with a fee if they did not respond back to messages within 24 hours. Not only did this help WhatsApp generate revenue, but it also helped the users receive responses much more promptly. Whether it was ticket bookings, flight updates, or anything else, WhatsApp Business proved to be a game changer for the platform, especially with COVID and the rise of online businesses. As per the company reports, WhatsApp supports more than 15 million business apps users every month in India, showing just how big the platform is. Not just that, but WhatsApp also went ahead and expanded its business through WhatsApp Payments, a payment service launched in India, allowing people to send and receive money. And while this feature has only recently taken off, it's expected to set new landmarks in the world of unified payments. Mark Zuckerberg has since then announced that WhatsApp Pay will soon be rolled out for other countries in the world, speaking volumes of the kind of potential that it has. But here's a fun fact. All free apps generate revenue in 3 different ways: advertising, selling data, and in-app purchases. Now, WhatsApp has recently announced plans to start introducing ads in their status section, quite similar to what Instagram has done with their Stories feature. And considering the fact that both the platforms are now owned by the same companies, it all makes sense. Who knows? Soon enough, WhatsApp might introduce in-app purchases as well. However, the largest revenue generation stream for the platform is still the data they collect and sell to business owners for ads. And as profitable as it is, that still doesn't take away from the fact that this model goes entirely against the idea that WhatsApp initially started off with. Now, with even Instagram being part of the chain. This has led to a lot of questions about WhatsApp's security and user privacy, which proved to be quite a challenge for Facebook as they tried to gain back customer trust. All of this started when Apple released a new policy where social media platforms had to let their customers know exactly how and where their data was being used if they wanted to stay on the App Store. This revealed that not only does WhatsApp store your phone number, but it also has access to your purchases and financial information. Now, the question to be asked is, if there really are so many concerns about WhatsApp's privacy settings, why do people still use the platform? Well, the reason is, as insane as it is, most people just don't care that much as long as using the app is convenient for them. What this proves is that WhatsApp has managed to find itself a loyal customer base that would rather put their personal details up for the platform to invade than stop using it. Practically everyone in the world uses WhatsApp today for personal and business communication. And leaving all that is definitely not going to be easy, right? So, with all of this considered, what does the future of WhatsApp hold? Is it still possible for the company to keep gaining new users and generating revenue at the expense of their private data? Well, the first thing to keep in mind here is that data collection is something that every other platform does. The truth is that as long as a platform is transparent about it, it's really not out of the ordinary for them to be using your data to give you targeted ads. Think of it this way. if social media platforms didn't exist, you would have no access to them at all. So while it's completely valid to have concerns about your privacy if you think about it, most businesses in the world collect, sell, and share your data. Your local grocery store has a record of every purchase you've ever made with things like loyalty cards. Your internet provider tracks every website you visit, and so on. The reality is that most of us are always so willing to give up information about ourselves because the incentive is to receive something for free. It's basic human nature we're talking about here. After taking a look at WhatsApp's journey throughout the years, we see how the platform has taken a drastically different turn than what it was intended for originally. However, the one concern that people had was whether or not WhatsApp also tracks and reads the conversations you have with other people. And as far as we know, that absolutely does not happen. So, should you stop using the platform? Well, that depends on how you use social media. But considering the fact that WhatsApp has introduced end-to-end encryption, your conversations might be safer here than on any other platform. Except for Brian Acton's very own Signal, of course. However, Signal is still bound to face the same monetization issues that WhatsApp did because of Acton's adamance on not monetizing their services through data collection. So, as long as you are already using Facebook and Instagram, you are already having your data collected, and using WhatsApp will really not make that much of a difference. Ultimately, the decision to keep using WhatsApp or not is your choice. But in a world where most of our lives are dominated by technology, the question of whether this is a good trade to make is still debatable.